We would like to apologize to all of our friends working at car dealerships, both near and far. The opinions and thoughts expressed herein are merely opinions, so take it personally. Hey everybody, thank you for joining us for another nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat, insanely exciting episode of Old Friends, New Problems. I'm David.
I'm Dale.
And today we're going to talk about something that Dale has recently gone through. A lot of people go through this process, and it can definitely make you want to just, nails on a chalkboard and just drive you insane. But buying a car.
Yeah.
And this feels a little familiar.
Deja vu we're having.
A little bit of deja vu. So we'll explain that maybe a little bit later. But tell us about your recent car buying experience.
Yeah. So we had a 2020 Honda Pilot. And so it was a great car for what it was. It was the all-wheel drive Elite. It was getting up in mileage. Cars do that. Most anyways. And so my wife prefers to buy from CarMax. Cool. Whatever. I don't know. It's hard for me because I don't see myself buying a new car anytime soon. Because they don't really sell what I like anymore, which is primarily a manual transmission.
Yes.
Those are dying.
Which is,
Sad,
becoming unicorns.
Yes, sad state of affairs. But so until they keep making manuals, or until they start making manuals again common in America, whatever. So my wife likes CarMax. Well, let me tell you, I like CarMax for probably one major reason over a traditional dealership. And this is not to knock all traditional dealerships because there are good ones out there. We have friends in the business, so we're not going to paint a broad brush or broad strokes or whatever. So we go to CarMax, and we've had, 8 or 9 cars at this point from CarMax. And the current car was from CarMax, the new car is from CarMax. So we go, I've looked online, I've done all the research, and we ended up trying to get a Chrysler Pacifica. So we've had minivans. We've had 2 so far before the Honda, and we loved them. The reason we went with the Honda was because we thought we were getting out of the minivan stage. We didn't think that, the kids are getting older. We didn't think we were going to need all the practicality that the minivans have in lieu of having a really well-known brand and something that's going to be crazy reliable. Because let's be honest, even the car we have, I'm still a little concerned with some of the reliability issues that are going to be gremlins in the future.
Which I feel like everything post-COVID has reliability and quality issues.
That's true. That's a good point.
I feel like the auto industry as a whole has digressed in that area
significantly
since COVID.
Yeah. So because you're supposed to, when you buy a car, pro tip, you're supposed to know what you want. And if you can find what you want and have the financing already laid out, that's your best case scenario.
Yeah.
So we kind of knew, we didn't have financing prepared on this one, but we knew exactly what we wanted. And we know generally what our credit score is. We know what we should be getting, percentages and stuff like that. So we already had a lot going into this. And of course the Honda, they had already, we had, because we were preparing for this, we had already had them, tell us what they were going to give us for the Honda. And it was like $23,000 for a 100,000 mile Pilot, which is great. I feel like
it's a Honda.
Yeah. I mean, again,
they sell themselves.
Yeah. I mean, Deadpool says it, in the Wolverine movie, once he gets to, putting it through its paces, if you've seen the movie, we're keeping this PG.
Not appropriate for children.
Yeah. No potatoes here today.
No potatoes.
So we had it shipped. No, I'm sorry. We were going to get the Pinnacle, which, pro tip again, if you're looking for a minivan, the Chrysler Pacifica Pinnacle is great because it's got all the bells and whistles, quilted leather. Oh, yeah. It's nice. Problem is that one of the features that we wanted was the fold flats into the floor seating, which the Pinnacle doesn't have, in lieu of a more comfortable seat.
Okay.
The back row does, but the middle row does not. So that was a deal breaker. So we had one shipping, and then we canceled that. And then we found one. It was a Touring S package, had what we wanted, and it's like that, like flat muted gray color. And so we traveled up to one of our local CarMaxes. It was sitting there, and told the guy. I mean, that was probably the easiest sale that guy had in his entire life.
Yeah.
We walked in. We're like, he's like, what can we do for you? We're like, hey, I want this car. I have it on reserve. Oh, okay. He's like, so how are we going to be financing it? We already got that squared away. We know what we're going to, we've already done the pre-qualify and everything. So
give me the car.
You're good there.
Let me go.
He goes, okay, well, you trade one in? I'm like, yeah, but we've already got the trade-in offer. Here's the paperwork. And he's like, oh, yeah, this is easy. So that guy, he's quick commission off of us.
Score!
I mean, we were in and out of CarMax because we had everything prepared.
Yeah.
Maybe an hour at most.
Nice.
And that's something that, with previous problems that I've had with the traditional dealerships.
Yeah.
And I know that you've gotten cars from dealerships as well traditionally.
Yeah.
But and I know you have a story about it.
Oh yeah.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
Because it's the game, and I want you to tell your story because it's the key game. You and I both had this.
Yes. So anytime you go to a dealership, do yourself a favor. Bring both of your keys. And you always keep one key on you. And don't let them know that you have it. Because what these dealerships love to do is they love to trap you there. It's almost like unintentional kidnapping, but they will take your key to go and appraise your vehicle while your salesman is dragging his feet, trying to take as long as humanly possible. Mm-hmm. And then when they come back with the abysmal numbers, they will try to drag it out as long as possible. So one of the things that I like to do is I have my second key in my pocket, and I will immediately get up and leave if they're just way off base. I don't play the games. So I'm just going to get up, head to my car, and tell them, look, this is my number. This is what you're going to give me on trade. This is what I'm going to finance. This is my financing, unless you can do better. And here's my information. Call me when you got it. And then you get up and leave. And they will chase you and try everything they can to keep you from leaving the dealership. A lot of times they like to sit there and say, oh, we can't find your key. We got to go get your key. And it's somewhere in like Jupiter. And conveniently, the guy who's got it has gone on his lunch break, so we got to go find Jim, and Jim's got your key now, and then Jim is over here dealing with another customer, so it's going to be a few minutes. No, you can mail me my key because I really don't care. I've already got a key. I'm just going to take my car and I'm going to go. If you work at a dealership, don't play these games. Like, just don't do it. I know you've got your supervisors and managers that make you do things a certain way, but this is one of the reasons why Carvana and CarMax and some of these other places have become as successful as they are. Is because like Carvana, and yes, Carvana's got quite a bit of flaws, which we can get into that another time. But it's a very simple system. Find a car you like online. Check out the car you like online. Order the car you like online. They're going to send the car to your door. You then get to sit there and watch the guy take the car off of the truck, take it around the block for a spin, come back, sign the paperwork, do buddy hops in the truck, and leaves. You're not dealing with a salesman. You're not dealing with finance managers. You're not dealing with the supervisor who swoops in and acts like, hey, what do we got to do to make this happen today? Just go ahead and sign right here. If I can hit that number, you signed right here, and we got a deal, right? Everyone who's bought a car at a dealership knows exactly what I'm talking about right now. But Carvana eliminated all of that, and best thing about it was you had, I think it's like a week
Yeah, I think so.
and 400 miles to drive the car. If you don't like it, let them know. They'll come back and get it, and you pick another vehicle.
Pretty cut and dry.
Sweet.
Yeah.
If there's any imperfections or issues with the vehicle that weren't disclosed online, and they do a very thorough job of showing all the issues that the car may have, chip stings, maybe a little tear in the seat, stain, whatever, curb rash, anything like that. If you find anything that's not been disclosed, you let them know, and they're gonna cover it. They get it fixed, and I've dealt with that firsthand, and that kind of opened the door for them to be massively successful. And the model still works. Carvana went through some issues for a while there. I believe it was titling issues and some internal workforce issues and stuff like that. But it seems like they've really kind of rebounded from that. And the system still works. And what's been great about that is it's forced other dealerships into a mindset of adapt or die.
They have to be a little bit more brutally honest with themselves.
Yeah, they can't sit there and play these games because, Carvana is already pretty aggressive with their pricing.
Yeah.
And we know that they're aggressive with their trade-in values and stuff. So when you don't have to sit there and fight with somebody and go back and forth and spend 6 hours at a car dealership just fighting over $500.
Is that personal experience you're talking about right there?
No, because I'll just walk.
But you said that like it was like a personal jab, like over $500.
No, but I've seen it so many times, and it's like that. I refuse to waste my entire day at a car dealership. I'm not going to do it.
And I have done that.
Yeah. I think everybody really has. It's almost like a rite of passage. Yeah. But where CarMax is great is, they have their no haggle pricing, which, okay, it may be a little high, but what I have personally seen with CarMax is they go through the vehicles thoroughly. They fix what needs to be fixed. You're getting that vehicle with the fees and stuff already
baked in,
ready to go. So the only thing that's not factored in, because they can't until they know exactly what you're financing, is your taxes and then your tag and title.
Right.
So, it's nice because you know what you're getting, and CarMax stands behind what they sell. And a lot of dealerships have started kind of taking this approach as well because it works. Don't play games with people, and imagine that. They'll keep coming back.
Yeah. And that's one thing I wanted to bring out too is like, and you kind of hit it. They're not the cheapest. CarMax isn't. But even like trade-ins, you always get beat up on your trade-ins.
Yeah.
And honestly, I put all the with the Honda, I put all the specs into Kelley Blue Book, NADA, all the the main players of that segment, and they were pretty much right on point with what I was supposed to get.
Yeah.
So I mean, like realistically, I'm not upset.
No.
And to your point too, with the van that we got, some small stuff. The trim liner in the trunk was like separated from the plastic. There was some like paint chipped away, scuffed on the front bumper. And, I noticed all that stuff, of course, because I'm very detailed when it comes to looking at cars and trying to figure out what's wrong with it because I want to make the best purchase. And, I showed the guy, I said, hey, what about this? What about that? And, he marked it all down. He's like, yeah, we can do a right to, or not a right to repair. We can do a post, purchase repair order or something like this. Yeah. And they literally took care of it. It was no problem whatsoever. So both issues have been fixed. Yeah. And the car looks, good as new. And I mean, I can't really complain.
Yeah, they stand behind their product, and it works.
Now, I know that recently you've purchased a Kia, right?
Yes.
Like fairly recently. Now, do they still, because I don't know, because I'm not a big Korean car fan. This is a point of debate between us. we'll get into that at another time. But do they still have the crazy warranties on those?
So I didn't buy new.
Okay.
Fun fact, I've never bought a new Kia.
Okay.
All of the ones that I've purchased were used, albeit slightly. Actually two of them from CarMax. Yeah. So, yes, they still offer their 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty on powertrain. I believe where they're really good is if you buy the car secondhand, it's 5 years, 60,000 mile.
Oh. Okay.
So it does cut down if you buy it secondhand, but it's still a better warranty than almost any other manufacturer out there.
Yeah, I remember like for a long time, and maybe even still today, I think like one of the more common ones is like 3 years, 30,000.
3 year, 36.
Oh yeah, that's what yeah, which is like nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, most people drive that in a year these days.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We have a lot of people that come into the shop and their vehicle's a year old, and it's like, how do you have 45,000 miles on this thing already?
I mean, I'm not going to call any names out, but I know somebody personally who has a car, and I want to say it's pushing like 140,000 miles, and it's like 2 years old or 3 years old. So I'm like, geez, it's a lot of driving.
That's a lot of driving.
No,
so.
but you know.
But you know, it's just the car market's been turned on its head post-COVID. The used car market is absolutely insane. And, you know, I do feel like places like Carvana and CarMax do a good job of kind of taming that insanity a little bit.
Yeah, they're good for the overall.
Yeah, because, you know, if you try to go and buy a car just by owner, you know, you've got people who think that their 2004 Honda Accord with 280,000 miles on it is worth like 14 grand.
If you have an NA Miata, it is not worth what you're asking for. I'm sorry. It's not.
It's a Miata.
They're cool cars. Great for modifying, great for making into little cool sporty race cars for the track or autocrossing. They're not worth what you're asking for. And stop making the hardtop convertible or the hardtop conversions. Stop making those like $8 million. They're not worth it either. Sorry. Go ahead.
All right. So, yeah. Miata people can be a little delusional.
I was a Miata person.
He was a little delusional.
It was a fun car.
I converted him.
See, but here's the thing. I had the anti-Miata. I had the big Miata. I had the NC that nobody wanted, but it was even a better car because it had 5-lug, 6-speed, and it was just overall a better car than the other versions.
It was still a Miata.
Yeah, it could be worse. Could own a Fiata.
Oh boy.
I don't want a Fiata.
No, but you know, we just recently bought a car for our daughter. And, you know, we were looking in the personal used market, you know, private party. And, wow. I mean, just sitting there looking at a budget of like, you know, 7-8 grand, you know, and it's just like, no, I'm not putting my kid in that.
You might get like a Chevy Lumina with like 300,000 miles.
I just, you know, at the end of the day, you really got, and this is definitely a parenting problem that a lot of people are encountering, you know. You got a 16-year-old that's starting to drive for the first time. You definitely don't want to put them in a brand new Mercedes, people.
They're going to wrap it around the tree.
Or just every curb, mailbox, parking block, street sign, pothole, bumper, they're going to hit it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. And, you know, so you don't want to sit here and just spend a fortune on something brand new that you know is going to get banged up. But you don't want to buy a total crap box that's going to be breaking down and leaving your kids stranded, or
get them severely hurt.
Get them hurt, or it's not a safe vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, and that is a major struggle. And we just went through it because it's like the days of going out and my first car that I ever got, I want to say was $3,500. And that was a Camaro.
Nice.
So, it was under $4,000 total when me and my dad went and bought this car. And, manual transmission, Camaro coupe. It was like a 93 or 94, I think.
Well,
it
it
was
wasn't the IROC, surely.
No. It was the V6. But
Nice.
it was still a Camaro nonetheless, and it looked nice.
It looked the part.
It looked fine, it sounded good. It was a coupe. It was a manual. I thought I was Steve McQueen. But, and I know Steve McQueen drove a Mustang. Doesn't matter. No one's perfect. But I drove the Camaro. But, I got that car for under $4,000. It was a clean car. It was a nice car.
And for the record, this is like early 2000s.
Yeah. Wait, when I got my car? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a long time ago. Dinosaurs roamed the earth. But
we're old.
Those days are gone. Those days are completely gone unless you are incredibly lucky, or you buy something that you're gonna put a good amount of work into to get it up to speed.
Yeah.
And I don't want my kid riding around in something that's not safe, not economical, not nice. I mean, I want my kid to have a nice car, but I don't want my kid to have a brand new Mercedes either.
Yeah.
So, we wound up getting I think it's a 2021 Kia Forte.
Yeah.
And we bought that secondhand at a dealership. And Dale's trying to knock the table over.
My bad.
Very nice car. They completely went through it, had full list of paperwork. Everything was done on it. Maybe a couple little paint chips here and there, a couple little scratches, nothing major.
Manageable.
But it had new tires. It had new brakes. It was fully guaranteed with the warranty. The car is solid. Every oil change was accounted for. Interior is spotless. It's a good car. If my kid sat there and said, I'm going to go drive out to California, which I'm not going to let them, but if they had to go out to California for some reason, that car, without a doubt in my mind, will make it no problem. But I spent more than I wanted to spend.
You don't have to disclose, but
I don't have to disclose, but if your budget was $7,000 or $8,000, we were double that. So,
So pro tip, double whatever it is you're budgeting.
Yeah, but we also reserve the right to use said car whenever we need to or want to.
That's fair.
And we bought this before she got her license. So we've had it for a while and we used it regularly up until she got her license. Then it's like, okay, here you go. But the second you misuse it, or we catch you, letting someone else drive it or doing anything you're not supposed to be doing, it's gone. You're riding the banana wagon. You're taking the bus to school. So, prepare yourself, parents, because that is a problem that will occur if you have kids when it comes time to buying a vehicle. And I feel really bad for you if you have multiple kids that are going to be, starting to drive around the same period of time, because, you're either going to have to make them share, which that's going to make for some fun arguments.
Oh, yeah.
Or you're going to have to buy multiple cars.
Yeah, and I've already seen how they argue over the TV, so I'm like, oh, Lord.
Yeah. So World War 12.
Yeah.
But, that's something you really got to think about and prepare yourself for the car market, because it ain't like it used to be. It's definitely different.
Now, and we're getting close to time here, but I did want to bring something else too up. Is, and I don't know because I'm not in the market. Maybe you have some, finger on the pulse on this one. During the whole post-COVID era and during COVID, dealerships were throwing 15, 20, some cases doubling the price of the entire car on these, markups.
ADM.
Adjusted
dealer markup.
Has that come down at all?
Yes and no. A lot of the reputable dealerships have stopped doing that or have drastically reduced it unless it's a very high demand car.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of shady dealerships out there that are still doing it. A good friend of mine just went through a car buying process and ran into multiple dealerships charging insane fees.
Just don't get it.
Listen, if you're dealing with a dock fee that's anything more than like, and I mean, I even think this is a little high, but anything more than $800, walk. Because you're literally paying that money for paperwork.
And that's their job
It's their
anyways.
job.
It's like just
You know,
do.
I mean, I've seen dealerships charging over $2,000 for dock fees.
That's insane.
And it's highway robbery. It's dirty. They know exactly what they're doing. There's no justification for it. So you need to look into that if you're purchasing a vehicle from a reputable dealership. Look at that dock fee, and also just look at all the dealer fees, because if there's anything in there other than dock, tax, tag, and title, you're getting ripped off.
Yeah. And for the record, that's something else I wanted to bring up. I'm glad you said that. Anytime a dealership or a sales guy says, "Oh, I'm losing money on this deal,"
They're not.
They're not.
They're not.
There's plenty of meat on the bone. The price you're seeing, even if it's already been marked down, the price you're seeing, they're not losing money.
No.
They're not in the business of losing money. That's not a winning proposition.
Ask yourself that question. If you're selling a product, why on earth are you going to sell it at a loss? And before any of the dealership people jump in and say, "Oh, well, it's by unit count and stuff like that," and they get deals from the dealerships or the manufacturers and everything, I know. I've worked at dealerships. Yes, you do get incentives for unit counts. However, you're still not losing a dime on any vehicle that you sell at a car dealership. Why on earth would you sell it for a loss when 20 minutes later someone else is going to walk in and buy it for a profit? You're not. It's not going to happen. So if you've got the dealerships playing those kind of games, just walk. Go find another dealership, because if you can't trust them on that, you can't trust them on anything.
I mean, there's thousands of dealerships across the
yeah.
country. You're going to find one that's going to treat
Yeah.
you the way you want to be treated.
And you can order cars. I don't know if you are aware of that, but you can place an order for a car. You may have to do something that's very hard for a lot of people to do nowadays, which is wait. But you can order a car. You can put down a deposit, pick exactly what you want.
Audacity.
No. How could you possibly wait for something?
I can't get instant gratification
No.
now.
But now the downside with ordering is you don't get your rebates and everything. But ask yourself this: if there's a $2,000 rebate on the car, but the dealership is putting $5,000 markups on it,
Where's that money go?
you're still coming out ahead. So, find a reputable dealership, order a car that's exactly spec'd the way that you want it. Get rid of all these fees, and just pay attention to what you're doing, because if you walk into it thinking, "Man, I gotta have this," they can smell the blood in the water,
dude.
and they're gonna get
They
you.
are licking their chops. If you're like, "Well," and you're like, I really want that car," they're gonna find a way to
gonna get
make
you.
the price what you want the price. You're not gonna like it though.
But also, don't walk in there and be like, "I don't need a car." If you didn't need a car, you wouldn't be in the dealership.
It's not true. Not 100% true. Sometimes I've been known to waltz myself into a dealership and just be like, I literally just want to look around. So, then again, that's what got me in the Focus ST in the first place. So
There you go. Got him. So, just use your head, protect yourself, look and see what these fees are, research the dealership. Go online and look up the reviews, people, because
Internet era.
that is an easy tool at your disposal. And if you've got a dealership out there that's got a ton of bad reviews, maybe you ought to take note of that. Just because it's a big Chevy dealership or a big Ford dealership, it doesn't matter, because the small dealership that's been around since the 50s is still around for a reason.
That's a good point.
And it's probably because they're treating their customers better. They have a loyal following, and those people keep coming back. So you got to ask yourself why.
It's an amazing point.
So that's about all the time we got. But tell us about your dealership horror stories, and if you've got any raves for great experiences that you've had at a dealership, that should get thrown out there too, because there are a lot of really great people that work at dealerships, and they do deserve the shout out on that. So
And share this with your dealership friends and let them get in the comments and defend themselves.
yeah, absolutely. Love to hear why your doc fee is $1,500, sir.
We want answers.
We definitely want answers, but not today, because that's all the time we got.
Indeed.
Have a good one.